What if the biggest threat AI poses to your career is not that it replaces you, but that it makes you stop believing in yourself? Right now, 30% of people who use AI every single day regularly experience imposter syndrome. Not because they are failing, because they are succeeding too easily. Millions of workers are producing better work than ever before, and their brains have no idea what to do with that. A growing number are haunted by one quiet thought: I did not earn this. If that thought sounds familiar, your brain is not broken. It is running on outdated software that was installed decades before AI existed. Software that society built over centuries. And today we are going to reprogram it. For as long as you can remember, you were taught one core equation: effort equals value. If something was hard, it was worth doing. If it came easy, it was probably shallow. This was not casual advice. It was the unspoken contract behind your entire education, your career path, and your definition of what it means to be successful. You watched your parents grind through decades of labor. Your teachers praised the students who struggled the hardest. The message was everywhere. Suffering is the price of legitimacy. Psychologists call the mechanism effort justification bias. We assign more value to outcomes that cost us pain. The harder the path, the more deserving we feel of the destination. A degree you bled for feels more legitimate than one you breezed through. A project that took all night feels more meaningful than one completed in 10 minutes. For most of history, this programming actually worked. When knowledge was scarce, effort really was the differentiator. The carpenter who spent years mastering joints made better furniture. But the world that made effort equal value does not exist anymore. The equation broke, and most people have not updated the variable. So here is what happened. Eastern Washington University surveyed workers in early 2026. 30% of those using AI daily reported persistent imposter feelings. Not beginners, not slackers, daily power users. People producing their best work ever. And it gets worse. Korn Ferry surveyed 10,000 professionals and found 71% of US CEOs, the most accomplished leaders on the planet, report imposter syndrome. This is not a junior employee problem. This runs all the way to the top. The more powerful the tools get, the less people trust their own contribution. And geographically, this is not just an American phenomenon. It tracks wherever AI adoption accelerates. Now here is the part that gets really uncomfortable. BCG, one of the world's top consulting firms, studied nearly 1,500 workers and found something they called AI brain fry. 33% higher decision fatigue, 39% more errors, 34% seriously considered quitting. Not because the work is bad, because the psychological cost of not understanding your own output is enormous. The tools work, but the humans operating them are breaking down. As Julie Bedard of BCG put it, the danger is not that AI replaces workers, it is that workers stop trusting their own judgment. And the data on silent dependency is even more alarming. 15% of AI-assisted workers have stopped asking questions entirely. 11% cannot explain what their own AI tools actually do. Roughly half believe AI is smarter than they are. Think about that. Not more informed, smarter. People are not just using AI as a tool. They are surrendering their intellectual authority to it. And that quiet surrender is what fuels the imposter feeling. As John Nosta wrote in Psychology Today, the irony is thick. The tool that was supposed to free you from drudgery is instead making you doubt whether you deserve the freedom. Because your old programming says, if it was not hard, it was not real, and AI just made everything dramatically less hard. So what do you do when your most deeply held measure of value, effort, stops being the differentiator? You have two choices: suffer through the identity crisis, or reprogram. Nassim Taleb captured the shift perfectly. A stoic is someone who transforms fear into prudence, pain into transformation, mistakes into initiation, and desire into undertaking. The old mental model says, I am valuable because I worked hard. The new mental model says, I am valuable because I direct powerful tools toward the right problems. The shift is not about working less, it is about redefining what counts as work. Think about a doctor. The value of a great doctor was never their ability to memorize every drug interaction. It was their judgment, their ability to look at symptoms and say, this is what is actually happening. AI now handles the memorization, but judgment, taste, knowing which questions to ask, that is irreplaceable. The person who asks the right question is now worth more than the person who grinds out the answer. That is the reprogramming. Not effort equals value, judgment equals value. And the evidence backs this up. The World Economic Forum's 2025 Future of Jobs report lists analytical thinking, creative thinking, and resilience as the top 3 skills employers want. Not hours worked, not suffering endured. Thinking, creating, adapting, those are the new currencies of professional value. Alex Hormozi put it simply and correctly. The goal is not to be busy, it is to be effective. AI just made effectiveness dramatically more accessible. Here is how to think about it. You are not the factory worker anymore. You are the conductor. The orchestra is AI. Your job is not to play every instrument. It is to know which instruments should play, when, and how loud. And nobody calls a conductor an imposter because they did not personally play the violin. So why are you calling yourself one? The Harvard Business Review recently made an important argument. Imposter syndrome is not a clinical condition. It is a normal, universal human response to unfamiliar success. That means it is not a sign of weakness. It is a signal that you are operating at a new level. And the countries leading in AI adoption are also leading in workforce reskilling, not replacing workers, reprogramming them. So here is the practical part, the reprogramming. First, stop measuring your value by how hard the work felt. Start measuring it by the quality of the decisions you made. Every day, write down 3 judgment calls you made that AI could not have made on its own. Second, understand what your AI tools actually do. The 11% who cannot explain their tools are the most vulnerable to dependency. Learn the mechanism, not just the output. Third, keep asking questions. The 15% who stopped asking are hollowing themselves out. Your questions are proof of your expertise, not evidence of your ignorance. And finally, accept that the feeling of ease is not a bug. It is the whole point. Technology was always supposed to make work easier. The programming that says otherwise is what needs to go. A generation ago, people who used calculators were told they were cheating at math. Today, refusing to use a calculator would be considered a handicap. AI is following the exact same arc. The people who thrive will not be the ones who work the hardest. They will be the ones who reprogram the fastest. The old rule was simple: suffer, then succeed. The new rule is simpler: think clearly, direct powerfully, and let the tools do what tools were built to do. Your value was never in the grinding, it was in the knowing, the choosing, the seeing what others miss. AI did not take that from you. It just made everything else less important. So stop apologizing for being effective. Start building on it. You are not an imposter. You are just running new software on old hardware. Time to upgrade. Reprogram yourself.